Hey, how's it going everyone? Justin again as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about two things that you can do for bike maintenance that's going to save you a bunch of money in the long run. Let's talk about them. One of the things that you're going to want to do regularly, or at least every 500 miles or so, is you want to check your air filter. Make sure it's not clogged up, full of debris. The bike has to be able to breathe, so you want to make sure you're checking the air filter properly. We're going to cover that today. Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be able to clean, degrease, and lubricate your chain on the bike. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to go through at least one chain every year, every other year. The links will kink up from dirt, debris, and all that other good stuff that you'll find on the road that we pick up as motorcyclists. So I already washed the bike the other day, and I've already used WD-40 as my penetrating oil, only because this is still a brand new bike and it's been in dry climb and it hasn't seen a lot of wet weather. So I don't have to go to such an extreme where I have to use diesel fuel and a paintbrush to paint and clean and get through all the road debris that's on my chain. So since I've already kind of went through and wiped it down a little bit with WD-40, I'm going to go through today and using this Lucas chain lube that I use on pretty much all my bikes, dirt bikes and now my sports bike. We're going to use that to basically re-wax and clean up the chain. Make sure all the links are good to go, especially after washing it and hitting it with some rust penetrant. I'm also going to show you where the air filter is located and how you can access it on the 2018 KTM 390 Duke. Alright, some tools that you're going to need for this. You're going to need at least one 3/8 ratchet with a 17mm socket. You're going to need a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm socket. I prefer deep, but I'm sure you can get away with shallow and an extension. And one number 2 Phillips screwdriver of your choosing. We're also going to want a rag and some kind of chain lube. And if you haven't already cleaned it up with some kind of penetrant or using a paintbrush and some diesel fuel to clean your chain, you want to do that prior to doing the step that we're going to do today. So that being said, I'm going to bring you on over. I'm going to show you how to access the air filter, and then I'll show you how I lubricate the chain without a stand. Let's do it. Alright, so let me set a couple things down over here on our workbench, and let's get this seat taken off, because that's going to be our access point for getting to the air filter. Got my key in the ignition. I'm going over here to the side of the bike where you guys know the seat latches. Turn the key, pop the back seat, slide it off. I'm going to keep this one back here on the back. I might need that for a parts tray. I'm going to slide the main seat off, flip it upside down, put it on top of the tank. Now you can see that right here we have our access cover for the air filter, which is just in front of the battery. There's going to be 6 Phillips screws that are in here. However, 2 of them are partially covered up by part of the body. So instead of having to take everything off, you're not going to be able to get these screws out without at least loosening up the 2 fasteners that are holding down the front here and the 2 retainer portions for the seat that are up front. Your 10mm, your 17mm. So let me go ahead and get some tools here. Starting off on this side first, so you guys can see, I'm going to remove this 10mm fastener that our seat slides onto. Again, this is just loosening up the body so that way we can get this screw out easily. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to set my little ratchet up here on the top seat. Get that out. Let me grab our 17 now. And we'll just loosen those up. And we'll set our ratchet up on top as well. And we'll start backing these out. Put those in our back seat there. Now I'll grab our Phillips screwdriver and we'll begin removing the access cover for the air filter. Again, using the back seat as a parts bin. This bike currently has around 450 miles, which is why I thought this was a good idea to cover two basic maintenance things that you can do at home to help keep the bike running just a little longer without having to go through a chain every year or, you know, clogging up the carb. See, so now that I'm backing this screw out, I kind of got to angle it and pull the body back just a little bit, but I can get that screw out. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Once I get towards the top, I'm just going to push it a little bit off to the side with my finger. That's going to give me just enough room to slip it out. I'll put the screwdriver back here on the back seat. Now I can lift up the access cover and look down in here at my air filter. Now it should have two little retainer tabs in here that I can pull back on and lift up on the filter to pull it out. Let me see here. Yeah, so those got to get pushed down this way. So I'm just pushing them towards the front of the bike, which is going to release the air filter, and then I can slide it out and I can look at it. Still pretty brand new, not seeing a lot of debris here. That's a good thing. So then we'll just slide it back into its original position, and then we'll just gently push down until it clicks back into place. You might have to push the tabs back forward again. Once you get it set down, pull the tabs back towards you. That locks the filter back in place. Now we can put our air filter cover back on. And we can begin putting our fasteners back. Now, same thing as the other day, as I stated, you want to push again, rotate left to seat the screw, and then begin to run it down. And don't tighten it in case you have to shift the air filter cover. Sometimes you might have to shift it a little one way or the other. So once we get them all in, then we'll go back through and we'll begin snugging them down. You don't have to put a lot of force behind it either. So again, rotate it partially left and then slowly begin to run it down. Rotating left, running it down. Notice what I'm doing here with the screwdriver, a little tip for extra speed. So I'm using both my hands to run it down faster. Alright, now I can go a little bit more than snug on each one of these. I'm doing them in a crisscross pattern to get a nice even seal. Cool. Now I could put our two cushioner fasteners back that help cushion the seat from the body of the bike. I'll run those back in, and then I'll get our two front seat holders put back in. And I'll just run those down by the finger, so all I got to do is come back through with the ratchet and snug them up. Again, you don't got to go overkill. Just get them down to that snug point, and then just go a little more. That's it. Do the same thing for these ones. Alright, now we can begin putting our seat back together. Down there. So again, I'll just put my seat back, and I'm pushing it forward, making sure that it lines up with those two front seat retainers, pushing it down flat. Then I'll take the rear seat, and it's got these two grooves with these two cushions in here. Just going to flip that around, line it up with those cushions. And I'm just going to slowly kind of walk it forward, and then I'm just going to kind of push down and shove at the same time until it clicks in place. That's it. Alright, let's take a look at that chain. Alright, now like I said, if you have some miles behind your bike, you're going to want to use some diesel fuel and a paintbrush to kind of paint the chain and kind of clean up all that road debris that's on it. Maybe some WD-40 if that's all you got. Since this bike has just under 500 miles, it's always recommended to do this at least every 500 miles. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to begin to coat the chain in the places that I can see, and then I'm going to roll it back and continue coating it. So I got it good there. Now I'm going to come back towards the back. Don't be afraid to use it, you know what I mean? Alright, now I'm going to roll the bike back a little bit to get that chain and the lubricant to work its way through. And again, doing the same thing, I'm just going to start coating the chain from where I can see it. And then I'm going to walk it back and let it do its thing. And then again, and you just do this until you've gotten the entire chain covered with the lube. Sorry guys. And then I'm just going to take the rag and give my tire and rim just a quick wipe. So I did get some overspray on it, but I can see exactly where I've sprayed it, and I made sure to get the whole entire chain. I might give the sprocket a quick wipe down too. Doesn't hurt. Maybe wipe the chain a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Simple. Alright guys, so I hope this video helped you out. Like I said, it's very important. Those are two really crucial things on the motorcycle that you want to just make sure you check, you know, pretty regularly. Like I said, about 500 miles or so, it's not a bad idea to just clean up and re-lube that chain, check the air filters, make sure there's not a lot of, you know, debris build up in there, because a carburetor that can breathe is a happy carburetor. Or in this case, I think it has a electronic fuel injection, but either way, the bike still has to breathe, and it can't breathe if it's filled full of debris. So that's all I got for this video, guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give it a thumbs down. Thanks as always for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and all other good stuff. See you guys next time. Later.